Warning! This video contains rumors, speculation, strong opinions, and a Mad Max. And I'm mad. But Kathy Kennedy is fired. But I want to talk about how this affects the future of boycotts and how we should stick together. This shouldn't be an end. This should be a beginning of fans taking back fandom. That's what I'm talking about. Kathleen Kennedy being fired is just the beginning. A tipping point. A boiling point. Let's not give up. How this affects the future of boycotts. And this is a warning to Disney, shareholders, and Bob Iger. We're eyeing episode 9, and it's a boycott warning for episode 9. If they continue this junk, because boycott works. This is why they ignored us. This is why Kathy was silent. Fans are the force, not women, not men. The fandom is the force. I am absolutely enraged by this notion that you can't listen to the fans. You can't include them in the process. No fan service. And you know what? This social media shutdown of Kelly Marie Tran, it could be for bowling, but here's another possibility. It could very well be at the request of Disney and Lucasfilm. And you know what? You want to know why? The pan tweeters cost Lucasfilm millions. So it might be a company-wide memo. Stop with the social media garbage. Get off of Twitter. Get off of Instagram. Get off of Facebook. Stop commenting and speaking with fans because they don't agree with you. That's another possibility. The boycott works, but nothing did as much damage to Solo's box office as those idiots on Twitter like John Kasdan, Freddie Prinze Jr., and Pablo Hidalgo. Social media better well be a talking point to Disney and Lucasfilm employees because of the comments on paying customers. And you know why Ryan won't shut up now? He's out of the woodwork. Because I believe he's no longer a Lucasfilm employee. He was one of the first casualties. Over the next few months, you will see less and less Lucasfilm employees tweeting or posting on social media. It only makes sense. All the articles are, how could this happen? They know exactly how it happened. They know. And this with the Solo bomb and Kathy being fired, you know the behind the scenes. It's the timing of everything to take the heat off Kathy. And in the public eye, it softens her exit. It makes it look like, ew, who would want to head Lucasfilm with all those toxic customers? And this is also why I absolutely know she is going. They are already weaving her storybook ending, making it look like she would be insane to stay, and that she would have to be putting up with it to stay. No, we're not putting up with her. That's the reality. Not like she epically failed. Viewers, don't shed a tear for Kathy. Remember, she fired Josh Trank, Lord and Miller, Colin Trevorrow, and she hijacks films from the directors. Don't forget that either. Even the ones that weren't fired. She hijacks them, except for Rian Johnson. She hijacks every single one. And her opening statements when she took over the mantle were a series of lies. She said she would protect the legacy of the characters in the story. She said she would always think of George like Yoda and have him as a creative consultant. And then, literally, right out the gate, trashed his outline without one of her own. Chew on that for a second. She was so against her friend George, who put her in that position, that she greenlit a trilogy without an overall plan. And that's an epic failure on her part. And all these Tico stories coming out are the final Tico tantrum of the failed story group. This can all be a convenience of coincidence, and how it takes the heat off Lucasfilm and Kathy once again. Now, I could be wrong, but I ask all of you viewers, is this a coincidence? The weekend that this is announced. I absolutely condemn bullying and racism, and that includes how they are treating customers. They are bullying us, and they are making blanket statements about their customers. We are also being bullied. Now, it is possible the final straw with Kelly being harassed for months came exactly when Kathy was being fired. Absolutely yes. In my opinion, it's too much of a coincidence. But it also is possible that Disney and Lucasfilm cracked down on social media posts after John Kasdan, because there was a bunch of damaging tweets, but I think that was the most damaging, and that's where you can really see the drop-off big time. And it is possible they're also starting filming. Another possibility is the disgruntled story group is using their character to create another teaching moment, just like she did all throughout The Last Jedi, and throw some final blows towards the fans. You ever try to get a last word in with someone who's arrogant and's on a high horse and thinks they're right? They always got to get the final word in. They failed already. This is their final word they're trying to throw in at the last second because they're on their way out. All of them. This is the story group getting their last word and making it seem like it is good for their health to get away from us. Well, guess what? You're never getting away from the real fans, and you're not going to paint a picture of the fans with blanket statements of garbage. And this is where I want to discuss with you, viewers, the future of these boycotts and where the fans take back fandoms. Because The Last Jedi was the tipping or the boiling point. But big corporations have been buying up properties, producing garbage, and ignoring fans. And it's not just Star Wars and Disney. And I want to keep this community together. Stick together. This is something different that we have here. I personally want us to stay together because there are a lot of fandoms that I enjoy, and a lot are in a similar situation. And creating funny t-shirts is fun. It serves a purpose. But does it strike fear into big corporations when you wear a funny t-shirt but still show up opening night? I don't think so. I want to strike fear into these big corporations that we might not show up or put up with their marketing magic trickery. I'm calling all of you to stick together and boycott hard. And next time, if a company isn't treating the fans with respect and just producing mass market garbage without keeping the characters and story at the focus, then I say we join together no matter what and boycott hard. Forget what the critics say. Forget what you're hearing in the news, because the real news is, and this is why there's so much of a smoke screen with all the Tico tantrums to get to it, is that the customers matter. The fandom matters, and we need to be taken seriously. I will have more vids on this in the future because I want to stay together. I want a group that strikes fear into the corporate empire Disney and their bottom line. You see, we only have to be halfway successful to demolish their bottom line if we don't show up opening night. So on my channel, you're not my fans, not my followers, not even my subscribers, because I don't ask for it. But what I absolutely do ask for you is to join in the conversation and boycott hard when it warrants it. And I don't call for boycotts lightly, only as a last resort. And boy, did they put us in that position. Each and every time that the fandom is mistreated and ignored. Here are some ideas to call this group. Rebels with the Cause, First Weekend Warriors, or I invite you to chime in. I'm also thinking of doing my first live stream as a premiere meeting for this group. And there's going to be no super chats. Just people and fans rebelling against this junk talking together. That's my plans for my live stream. I'm leaning towards Rebels Without a Cause, and you don't need to check out Rotten Tomatoes or social media influencers leaning the public. But the First Weekend Warrior seal of approval or a boycott warning, this is the kind of fear I want to inflict on mass market garbage that ignores fans, characters, and story. And it's not over yet. So I want, when we're ignored, boycott warning to go up and strike fear into these big companies. Because a lot of us here on, you know, they treat us like we're non-existent until it affects their bottom line, and then they can't stop talking about us. Okay? So, we need to take that and roll with it and strike fear into them. And say, you know what? We had enough of this. We're going to give you a boycott warning. Or a seal of approval for a movie that opens, that treats everything with respect, including the customers. Because we're paying customers, and they should never forget that. A lot of you viewers out there, the ones that watch these vids on YouTube all the time, are the hardcore. The hardcore fans. Early adopters of technology. Can you imagine if every fandom or every customer that was an early adopter of a new product or of a fandom joined together to boycott garbage? This cannot... We need to stick together and keep doing this. Because we're often ignored because of corporate culture. So those are my thoughts. I would love to read yours, because all I really want from you viewers is to join in the conversation and talk about a hot topic. And you don't have to follow me anywhere. I'll see you on the next one.